I think we can all agree that Fiber Fuel has gone through some major hardships during its lifetime. So let's start with the fact that Disney and Pixar just completely removed the sponsor from Cars 3. They're like, yeah, that's going to be one of the sponsors that we exiled to the Shadow Realm and replace it with Synergy. Yeah, that sounds good, right? Makes sense. Synergy's a new modern sounding fuel company, and Fiber Fuel, well, is an old fuel company. Now, they did do Gogo Logano in the NASCAR line as the Fiber Fuel Next Gen, but he doesn't appear in the movie. It's not canon. It's just up to your own imagination as to where and how and when it exists in the Cars universe. But getting past just that, in 2010, the Fiber Fuel hauler was canceled. Fortunately, I was able to get a prototype of the real semi-cab here, but yeah, just completely wiped off the slate. Okay, what else, Mr. Doc? It doesn't sound that bad. Yeah, well, the crew chief in 2018, 2019 also got canned. Right over here, this is a custom of what it would have looked like, but that one just got completely abolished as well. So I wanted to give Fiber Fuel and Brush Kerber here, the only canon Fiber Fuel racer, some credit and some attention today. Very excited to get into this one. Although Tylan did do Brush Kerber a couple years ago, so this is his not first rodeo from Tylan. I never reviewed his Tylan variant, so it's about time I did so with his 2024 release. He's been in a couple singles cases, most recently Case C, and actually Case E, and because I found an extra while I found Case E out there, I figured it was a perfect time to do a little video on it. So yeah, guys, let's just jump right on in here. I do like Fiber Fuel a lot. It never was one of my favorite racers or sponsors, but it definitely has appreciated because it doesn't appear in Cars 3. Funny how that works. When you can't have something, it becomes more desirable. I guarantee if RPM, for example, was not in Cars 3, that sponsor, Winford Bradford Rutherford, that racer would be a lot more desirable than it is now. You can apply that to almost anything in life. Something you can't have is almost always more desirable than what is given and what is taken for granted. And since, we took Brush for granted all the way up until Cars 3, feel a little bit bad, but he does have a really cool design. I love the wheat that's interwoven with his decals, and we're going to see how Tylan was able to pull that off. I'm a little concerned about it, though, not going to lie. On the back, you can see a bunch of stuff from Case A, which is where Brush originally debuted this year. Lightning McQueen, Todd the Pizza Planet truck, Mater with the working tow hook, Sheriff Sally, and Hauling Gas, the retread racer, who lives right up alongside Brush Kerber Fiber Fuel here because he was also removed from Cars 3. His hauler was also canceled. Now, fortunately, or maybe unfortunately, his crew chief or pity never even got sniffed, right? They never even were conceived, whereas Fiber Fuel did at least get a pity in 2019. So yeah, guys, I'll be right back with Brush all opened up here. In terms of rarity, Brush has never been that rare. In 2014, he was released. I believe he got re-released in early 2017 before Cars 3 debuted in all of its merchandise. First Tylan release in late 2019-2020 for the Blue Desert Saga. And now he is back here, been included in several multi-packs over the years as well. Of course, got a rubber tire release back in the day as well. I think there was a launcher probably in there too. So yeah, Brush, never been one of the rare racers, but certainly a very underrated one in my opinion. So there is Mr. Kerber in Cars, probably a kind of flash by, super blurred, not great image, but that's just kind of how it goes for a lot of these Piston Cup racers, especially, second and third tier racers, unlike Leakless, No Star, RPM, Octane Gain, that got some better looks throughout those racing scenes. But yeah, first thing we're going to talk about here with Brush is the eyes, because, yeah, they're bothering me a little bit here. I'd say that Tylan, their best attribute when it comes to these Piston Cup stock cars is changing up the eye expressions from the original Chinese versions. And I think they did a really good job with, for example, Dirksen D'Agostino here. This is a great, slightly different expression from original. The eyes are closer together. It just looks a little bit better, right? You know, they did a decent job, I would say, with Johnny Blamer, who came out last year. Not the best in the world, but I am just not vibing with Brush here. And I think the problem with Brush is that there is not a bottom eyelid. You have the top there, the eyes, which are a little too far apart, and then nothing below. This is what I mean. You look at Winfried Bradford Rutherford here from Thailand, and he does have a bottom eyelid right there. See, running just above the black outline. That is not present on Brush. So it has a world of difference. It really does. Trust me, if there was some sort of white or yellow line rather there, he'd look a lot better. So that is quite problematic in my opinion. I don't vibe with his expression really at all. And although the black outline around the top eyelid looks all right, and it's an addition over the previous version, it's not, earth bending. It's not earth shattering. Now, Brush is one of the racers with the split grill mustache here. You do have 56 on the headlight there. His color tone's a little different. So the difference between his hood color and the body color is a lot less noticeable, whereas before you could tell, yeah, his body's orange, but that hood is yellow with the decals on it. Everything kind of runs together. And yeah, speaking of which, his slogan is Run Regular. I've always loved his logo there, which has changed colors to be a little bit more red, a little more orange versus the maroon kind of bronzish color before. And you have some wheat decals speckled around the sides. Now, one thing that I'd say Mattel does a pretty good job with for this model of Piston Cup Racer are the size of the axles. You could see that the wheels and the tires come pretty much out to the edge of the fenders, whereas they struggle with the other models here, like the no stall model. The tires will come out a little too far, as you can see right there. I should not be able to pull that all the way out, because if I push it back in, then it's out on the other side. And then of course with the longer model, they are too short, so they are kind of tucked in the fenders there. So definitely a problem in my opinion, but at least that problem does not translate over to this model. But I guess that's only a 1 out of 3, and that's not great odds. You can see the contingency sponsors here. They honestly don't look that bad, like Mood Springs No Stall. They'll never compare to the Chinese version, but again, we've kind of changed our perspective of the decals, the decal issue here on the Mr. Docket channel. So this is the Motor Speedway of the South, like the limited in the same pack as Mac iCar. That is the Brush Kerber I'm holding right now, and probably should not be holding because my fingers are oily and I don't want to think about that. But the reason I think about that is because the Motor Speedway of the South cars are known to deteriorate over time due to what's called zinc pest. The metal just doesn't hold up and it starts to crack and flake off, or the body starts to separate itself from the base. Now this one is pretty good. This one does not seem to have any issues, knock on wood, yet. But as you guys probably have seen in some of my other videos or in other people's videos or articles online, they can get really ugly, really bad, and really fast. So was the perspective change? Well, maybe these decals are not as crisp and not as clear, but hey, in 50 years, might look the exact same. In 50 years, this Brush Kerber might have lost all of its paint, and that's not even an exaggeration, guys. There's a chance that in 50 years, this is a bare metal, just decrepit car. I'm not even kidding, guys. I may not do anything. It might be in storage for the rest of its life, but just because of the chemical compounds used in that paint, it has the chance to disintegrate over time. I'm not saying the Thailand versions will, have the best longevity ever, but I do think they will hold up better than the paint used on some of the Chinese racers of past eras. And the sacrifice, the trade-off, is less clear decals. Anyways, you can see the wheat interwoven here, which looks really nice. Again, it's not going to be as clear, and the coloring is slightly different. You can see they changed like the bronze coloring, the outlines around the numbers and the stripe to a brighter red, which I don't mind actually at all, and matches Gogo Logano a lot more with the way that his decals are more red. Black wheels, black tires. 56 on the roof. That looks really good. I really do like the red. I think it just, yeah, highlights the number a little bit more than the bronze did, the caramel color. Excuse me, guys. And on the back, he's got his classic saying here, which I did not understand for the longest time. If you go back and watch like my original Brush Kerber review, way back, probably in like 2016, I could not tell what the first word there said. I thought it was like 9mm running regular. Yeah, I'm running regular, you big idiot. What the hell were you thinking? RC Cars 5. Who even is that clown? Yeah, no, I'm running regular. I'm just kidding. If you didn't understand it either until I just said it, it's totally fine because I didn't for the longest time. I literally thought that was a 9, but that is an I in cursive, kind of, yeah. I feel like there should be like a little tail on the right side of it here, but yeah, I'm running regular. Plus the spacing is just weird for this. Like, I feel like the I and the M should be closer to the apostrophe there, but yeah, whatever. It looks good. I'm running regular. I like that. Let's see when this guy was made. S49A, so the 49th week of 2023 at the A Factory in Thailand. And yeah, when was my Motor Speed with a South version made here? The 284th day of 2007 at the EA Factory. And you could see all that was on the base was Disney Pixar China. Doesn't even say that this is Mattel. Doesn't even give Mattel's address or a product code, all of which are on current bases. So just so you can see how much has changed over time. But yeah, that is pretty much it for Brush Kerber. Not the best, not the worst. Like, I think, well, it might be the worst of its model in terms of Thailand variants, because I do think Winford Bradford Rutherford's better. I definitely think Dirksen D'Agostino is better. I think he's got maybe the best expression of any of those cars with that model. Four-wheel drive, obviously, just a better sponsor. He doesn't have the black outline around the eyes, though, or the eyelid, which is a little strange. Dave Alternator's another one that I think looks just a little bit better because, again, he's got that red below. Even so slight, it makes a little bit of a difference. But yeah, guys, I think now he looks a lot better with Megan Shifter, who was always made from Thailand. So yeah, his pity that doesn't even appear in the movie because Pixar and Disney only animated, what, like 17 or something of the pit rows, or the racers, and left a bunch of them just up to your imagination. They won't know this. Like, yeah, who needs a four-wheel drive, fiber fuel? Who needs that? Who needs a Taco Mint team? Who needs a toe cap team? They won't notice they're not there. Well, we did. But yeah, this is a custom crew chief I reviewed by Jim Scavenger. I reviewed that a little while ago now. I think that was in like the fall of 2023. Of course, Gogo Logano, who's pretty cool. He's grown on me over the years, to be frank. I have a custom next-gen fiber fuel racer I reviewed from Jim Scavenger a while ago. And eventually, this fiber fuel semi-cab will be in a Canceled Car Tuesday video. And then also eventually, I will do a Team Fiber Fuel video because I have a hauler and I have another crew chief and one of those factory custom pickup trucks. So a lot of cool fiber fuel stuff that I have been able to accrue to offset Mattel's disdain for the sponsor and, you know, canceling them twice as Pixar moving or removing them from Cars 3. Oh, feels so bad. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye now.